We put our old notes, cans, and cardboards into the bin. Recovering these materials keeps them out of the landfill. But what happens to them after they're carted away? How are recyclables processed? You might be surprised how much science goes into it. During our lab investigation on paper recycling, we'll focus on flotation deinking. But before we get into that, let's talk about recycling in general and how deinking fits in with the greater process of paper recycling. We've taken a tour at Sunoco Materials Recovery Facility in Raleigh, North Carolina. This site processes single-stream recycling, which is a combination of everything curbside from city collection. First off, everything needs to be sorted. It's the physical and chemical properties of each item that allows it to be sorted. The entire stream is fed into a conveyor system. Remember, this includes all types of plastics, tin, glass, aluminum, office paper, newsprint, cardboard, and contaminants. A metering drum controls the amount of material loaded onto the conveyor, and manual sorting is used to separate large cardboard and large plastic pieces. Paper separated next at the fiber screen. Rubber rollers carry lighter material up to the paper screen, while heavier materials fall downward. Segregated materials are baled up and shipped to another facility that repurposes them. Let's follow the recycled paper bales into a paper mill. We visited Resolute Forest Products Recycling Mill in Fairmont, West Virginia. The used paper will be recovered into reusable pulp. A percentage of that recycled fiber will be added to virgin fiber to make new paper. Basically, we need to make pulp, clean it, and then bleach the fiber. Buyers of the paper want it to look clean, white, and bright, and that's one of the greatest challenges of using recycled fiber. When you think about all the bits of foil, plastic waxes, adhesives, and inks that are part of the paper mass, and all of those have to be removed so that the good fiber is liberated. Again, chemical and physical properties are used for this separation. Let's go through the basic steps of paper recovery. Bales are broken open and are pushed onto conveyors. A nuclear sensor reads the density of the paper and adjusts the amount of paper added to the pulp drum accordingly. At the pulp drum, water and a bit of sodium hydroxide are added to break up the bonds of the fibers. A spinning rotator inside the pulp drum breaks up everything, kind of like a blender, but more gently. Next, high-density cleaners are used. These use centrifugal forces to separate material by density. Next, we go through screening. Barrier and pressure screens segregate by shape and size. As we remove contaminants, we want to be careful to minimize the loss of useful fiber. It's always this balance between the level of cleaning and the loss of fiber. The next step is washing and pressing. These steps further clean with water and then remove that extra water. Next is kneading, which uses heat and mechanical action to break up the fibers further and to start to separate the ink from the paper. Deinking flotation, water and air are added to the pulp. This is the step we'll be modeling in the lab. Air bubbles collide and stick to the ink particles and float out up to the top of the slurry. Next is dispersion. Steam and heat are used to break up the final ink and adhesives that are stuck to the fiber. It's important to remember that a lot of water is used in this system, and that water will be reused. Clarifiers are a system of tanks and chemical treatments to separate the sludge from the water. The clean and bleached pulp will be combined with virgin pulp in the paper making process.